Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that was loud. Back to Dylor's Twilight Tactics. It is Tuesday night, which means it is time for my This Week in Eternal Evolution segment as my chair decides to fall down on me. I do have a guest tonight. I will introduce him here shortly. Actually, we'll bring him up right now. There you go. So, yes, it's none other than VetAaron Gaming. He was my first guest on this segment when I decided to make it more podcast style. So, say hello, Vet. Or
everyone, how we doing?
So,
thanks for having me yet again. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So I actually had to do my hair to try to match yours, but I came nowhere close.
Ooh, you got to set realistic goals. That's number one. The hair is like the one thing I got going for me, so that's kind of my thing.
See, and I got my wife's a hairdresser too, but you just got no time for me, so I end up looking like Kramer from Seinfeld. It's unfortunate, but oh well. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we got, as we do on the Tuesday night segment, we're going to go over basically what happened in Evolution, or Eternal Evolution this week. We're going to banter back and forth about the topics discussed. We have a little bit at the end. We're going to discuss upcoming future stuff because some information has come to light on the upcoming collaboration event, which kicks off a week from tomorrow. So we'll get to that at the end. Stay tuned. We're going to dive right into it with my question that I like to ask all my guests is, are you still having fun with the game?
Yes. Yeah, I don't think that's really, a question for me at all at this point. It's still, I play several games, obviously, as a content creator, and this one for me, still from the first time I played it, I mean, so there's no energy. You played for a couple of days straight, it felt like, and you just knocking it out and get new heroes. And I still have the same excitement every time I get a new hero. When I started playing with Sif, I mean, I think I've made 4 or 5 videos on Sif because I enjoy playing her character so much. And yeah, I'm kind of, I'm very interested to see where this game is going because, as always, as a game develops, there's some things that are like, all right, well, it's interesting. Let's see how that turns out. So yeah, I'm still enjoying and still rocking and rolling.
Good deal. Yeah, this is the game that I wake up extra early. Like there's a 4 when I wake up on my alarm clock to bang out my main account. I can get it done in basically 25 minutes on the main account because it's just like Crimson Abyss 30 seconds. All the Lost Valley stuff 20 seconds basically with my account. So I can bang all that out really quick. And I look forward to waking up and do that. And then I got the free to play account, the brand new one, which takes forever, which, if I want to get my little gaming fix, I can go to that one. So I still enjoy the game very much as well. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend hours sitting in this chair making YouTube videos on it.
Yeah.
So good. I always like to hear that because I get the sense that some people just make content for the sake of making content and for being YouTubers. They don't actually like the game they play. Or they aren't actually invested in the game they play. And that's not good for anybody. No one wants to watch that.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I recently, we had a guild collapse just because, sometimes player bases change and things change over time. Like, your personal lives change. I get it. So I recently changed guilds, and that kind of reinvigorated me, right? Like, I was with some people that were being a little bit more competitive about it, which kind of forced me to go back. And I looked at some heroes, and I was like, holy cow, I had them in that gear? Like, what am I doing? And so it kind of forced me to go back into my account and look at everything. And, I enjoy that. Even like, some of the more mundane activities, right? Like changing out gear and trying to get the best gear on somebody may not be the most exciting, but it's very important to the game. And I'm still enjoying that aspect. And sometimes you just need a little change like that to kind of get back into it. Or it's a new hero that comes out and you're like, oh, I really enjoy what that hero can do. Like that's the reinvigoration. I think Eternal Evolution's done a good job of that, right? Like I don't think anybody's really ever felt bogged down. I don't feel like they're releasing too much content at the same time. Like, I think in general, they have a good pace to it. I don't know what you think.
I think that's my thoughts exactly, too. Like, I kind of keep track of all of their new content releases that they add to the game. And people you see it on the Facebook page all the time. People screaming for content. If you go into the spreadsheet, which is linked in the description of this video, as well as VetAaron Gaming's link to his YouTube channel as well, go give him a subscribe, please.
Thank you.
I keep track of all the events, and they, even though it's little content like these extra levels on the Katosian Triangle dungeons, right? They still pump them out every week or to every 2 weeks. They still give us new stuff every couple weeks. So people, when they're kind of whining about new content. I agree. I would like a brand new, fresh game mode every 3 months, but that's really not realistic for a mobile game. It's not. Like, I've been in... I played the last game I played. We went... I think that game went for a year without content before it shut down, but we won't talk about MSF. Or MFR, I mean. But yeah, no, I agree with you completely. So we're going to move into our first topic of the evening. So this week, where is she? We got a new hunter hero. Go check out my deep dive if you people haven't seen that. I think I do have one copy of her. There she is right there. So I'm pulling her up. Now, again, the devs, this is a kind of a racy intro cinematic. Like, it's like, hey, boys, eyes up here. Like, that is pushing it a little bit, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean, what it's it's not like Raid gets away with more, honestly. So I don't know. It's not hurting my feelings.
Yeah. Well, the character model herself is very like kind of waifu, like cool, seductive. But her intro cinematic is very blatant, in your face. Here's my boobs. Don't look at them. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you're motorboating as you come up there.
Yeah. So let's. What are your thoughts on Arcadia? Basically 1 week out after her release.
So and maybe this is a statement in and of itself. I have not pulled for Arcadia. She just didn't scream, I am a game changer. And while I've put money into this game, I am by no means a whale. So I have to pick and choose a little bit. Like, I didn't pull Ares because I don't have the resources to just get every hero that comes out. And I think some of that helps me as a content creator, right? Because then I'm not just blatantly doing everything. I would love to have every hero and test them, but also some of my knowledge and some of my picking and choosing might help some of the people that watch my videos, because they're not pumping money into this game either. So maybe my choices might help them guide their decisions also. So I didn't pull for Ares, which, like, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Ares is amazing if you have them fully maxed out. And I kind of feel like Arcadia is kind of in that same group. Like, I watched your deep dive on Arcadia also, obviously. And, if you don't have full resources to plug into a triple S hero, my kind of strategy is at this point, pull the 60 or 80 that you need to make sure you get the gene hybrid from that event, but then don't necessarily continue pulling. So I didn't feel, I got to pick and choose. And I didn't feel like she was strong enough I would rather save for the upcoming collaboration and some of those heroes to see what's going to go on there, as opposed to pulling for a hunter that didn't change the dynamic of the hunter team like Nord. Like, okay, and Nord's a bad example because now he's a paywall character, but like Sif to some extent, Doralee for sure. Doralee changed the dynamic of the summoner team. I think you can agree with that, because before it was just Muka. And
yeah, I agree with that.
I'm not sure Arcadia does that for the hunters.
So I'll have a post-release summary video, but some of my initial findings 1 week out is what she's bringing basically is just she kind of does complete the team, but she's there's nothing special. She does lots of damage. Like, she doesn't outpace Rebecca, but when she's X30 immortal, I only have her immortal 0, 1, 10, I think. She's not even hyper evolved all the way yet, but she does do more damage than any other hunter except for Rebecca. When she's X30, she has that multiple angled ultimate, and since each path counts as 9 hits, and since it counts as basic effect or basic attack effects, basically everybody in that path gets pushed back no matter what. If you're running Carmota lead, they get knocked back. So she, with the damage and her ultimate, and she's got that kind of oh shit button in her when she dies, she comes back and she fears everybody. We have found a team. So I was complaining when I first did my first video that the hunters, even her kit screams anti-tank, but the team didn't, in initial testing, just didn't seem to do it. Now, I have discovered a team with her and Rebecca and Rosaris, and I don't want to say the other two yet. We'll save that for a future video, but it does reliably counter the tank team. So it does what she does now, what I wanted her to do, but she is definitely by no means amazing. Is she a must pull for everyone? No, absolutely. Like I said, no. You need hunters. You need Rebecca X30. You need Rise X30. You need them all hyper evolved. You need them all. Well, you need them all immortal, which I think they have to be immortal to hyper evolve anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, I think they do.
Yeah, I think they do too.
So she definitely helps the team. She's not horrible. She's just okay. But the hunters right now require such a high investment that is she worth it to everybody? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, my Rebecca is very solid. And you know, I got some other ones that I didn't feel like. My Vanguard team is pretty trashy as far as Vanguard goes, and my assassins, as I just can't get them to the point where I think they should be. So I'm kind of holding out for those because, you know, I don't want to continue to invest broad because that's not going to help me in specific events like Hell Arena and that kind of stuff where I'm focusing on 4 teams max. So I kind of got to pick and choose a little bit. And for me, Arcadia just didn't quite get there. But like you said, if I didn't have a big Rebecca, then maybe that's the trigger to make me choose to go in on Arcadia a little bit more.
Yeah, and she's not really plug and play that much. Like, I feel like she kind of has to be with the hunter teams to be useful. Otherwise, she's just so squishy, she just dies. Like, she's not even Rebecca. You can put her in the back line of a summoner team or something in story mode and just use her to nuke down tanks. This
Crimson Abyss. Yeah, I got good results for her pounding away at the back and, you know, picking up the diamonds, the limited, those achievement rewards, just having Rebecca just wail away at the back.
Yeah, or I've seen Rosaris put on a tank team sometimes. Some people do it to make it a little bit more anti-summoner. I don't know why, but people do it. I've seen it. I'm not seeing Arcadia anywhere else other than on a hunter team. And I think that she was specifically put in the game because she has helped the team, she rounds the team out, and they wanted to do hunters in endless battles, obviously, and she's the 20% point hero in that one this month. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much sums it up. She's still kind of meh, but like she does have a place when she's close, when she is highly developed, where she can do some good work. But, you know, a free to play, you guys got to pick and choose, like Vet said. And I'm guessing your teams are what, summoners and tanks? For you said you can't really, your hunters you're not focused on, your assassins you're getting there, and your vanguards are poopy. So I'm assuming your teams then are like tanks, summoners, just for general use in like PvP or Hell Arena.
Yeah, so in Hell Arena I run summoners, tanks, assassins, because I did go in on Helentis. So in Hell Arena they do well. And then my fourth one is hunters, but it's basically like they can take out some low tank teams that don't have like a Teresh that's going to throw a Panda into my back row and wreck me, because I actually have pretty good luck with that. If they don't have a Teresh, throw in a Panda. My hunters can do a pretty decent job getting down some lower tank teams, as opposed to my energy. I don't know. I kind of keep going back and forth between hunter and energy for that fourth team. And it's easier to not make a decision than make a decision. So I just keep going back and forth.
The energy team needs some love, but it's likely that it's not going to come until after the collab event, given what we know now, which is 5 weeks away at this point. So energy is kind of poopy. Like, it doesn't seem to really beat a lot. Like, I'm having issues beating high-end summoner teams now with my energy team, which is kind of weird. But they're my weakest team, so.
Yeah, and energy was, like, take out the summoners because Jaina kills all the ads immediately and stuff. And now it's, I don't know if it's Sif or what, that they kind of like just getting power crept a little bit by summoners again.
Yeah, Sif kind of, because since Gobo is summoned into their line, she just gets back there and then she stomps them and stuns them. And if they're stun locked, they can't do anything. And by then, while they're stunned, all the summons have surrounded them. Then they blow up and everyone dies because everybody's squishy. So
everybody is squishy, that's for sure.
Yeah. So Arcadia, best or bust? I say neither. She's just kind of another addition to the game, right? For people that love hunters, go all in.
Yeah, I don't think you can call her a bust, but no. She's not a Sif, she's not a Dorali, she's not a Nord for me.
Okay. Next, well, you're right. So next topic is endless battles. So endless battles. I still really like this game mode. Like I remember how much hate there was when Rise of Heroes went away. How much people despise that.
I loved Rise of Heroes, but I tend to be like optimistic. Like I want to give it a chance, and yeah, I think endless battles are fun now. It gives you a chance just to kind of mess around with your teams and see what works and what doesn't work, and you have endless chances. I mean, you can set a lineup, put your phone down, walk away, come back, and be like, nope, that was way worse. Set in another lineup, put your phone down, walk away. So I don't know. I don't mind them. I think they're kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like it because you get to like challenge. In our guild, it's a big challenge. You can get the biggest score, and people are always comparing, and everyone's pushing each other and whatnot. And there is an inherent leaderboard here now where there wasn't that in Rise of Heroes. And Rise of Heroes, as soon as you were out of like the first 2 months of the game, you could pretty much just auto everything, and all it was this big way to collect free resources. And I think you actually get a little bit more, specifically because you can also get triple S copies of Heroes. So I've got it pulled up right now, and I got the exchange shop pulled up. Now there's not a whole lot of good things in here, but there's a Sore Valley in here. And if you're just starting the game, like everyone, we all probably, you, me, everyone else is probably that's been playing for a while is like, yeah, Sorvely, okay, cool. She's just helps Ampu. She's not that great. But like on my brand new free to play account that is just ending week 3, I got to start with endless battles this week, and the resources are huge that you get for a brand new account for brand new players. Like the raffle shop, I actually really want everything in the raffle shop. I want the gear tokens. I want the purple runes. I want the yellow runes. I want everything. So for us at the high end, maybe it's like, yeah, we're never going to use those things. But for people that are just starting out in the game, this is a huge event for those accounts. And like I said, specifically the SSS, like if I want another copy of Crete and I don't want to pull on him because it's not Crete anymore in week 3. Did you know that?
No, who did it switch to?
It's Ampu.
Get out of here.
Exactly. So now
that is massive. If you can get a free to play, like a younger account, and you're getting essentially free Ampus and Sorvely, that's massive. Yeah. Because Crete has been essentially power crept at this point.
Well, week 1 is Leo. Week 2 is Daniel. Week 3 is Ampu, and then you can get Sore Valley out of the endless. So you're right rolling with us. Like they've set it up so you're instantly going with a summoner team, pretty much. Other than and then if you want to spend like a little bit of money, you can get Dorley now because she's now the battle pass hero, right?
Yeah.
Did you see that? So they're still tweaking the beginning game to let people try to like it's basically a catch up mechanism because we all had to start with Ravenna, Emma, Crete, Mazrani, and Zeta. That's who we got for the first 5 weeks.
Yeah, new people, you win.
You win. You do. And like I've been pushing the main account, and it's far and above what we're capable of doing back when we first started. But anyways, yeah, that's endless battles. One topic I want to discuss, as I do got it pulled up right now, is this is what, the 5th month in a row that we have assassins.
Yeah, and I almost feel like they're just not happy with them, so they just keep releasing new assassins. I'm not sure what it is, because the SP is an assassin, and like the first one from the collab event announced was an assassin, right?
Yes.
Like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they just can't quite get it right, so they just keep releasing assassins, and especially because while PvP is fun and has a competitive edge and everything, I still think PvE gives the best resources between Endless Battle and Twilight.
They do, but it's just basically a big carrot. They want you to go buy. They're like, oh, assassin, so I better go buy Craxia because she's the 20% point. Oh wait, no, she's not 20. She's only 15%. Fiona's the big one this month. But still, it's basically their way of saying, hey, go buy this SP hero, is why I think that they keep putting in here over and over and over and over and over again. Because they want to push you to assassins because that's where the money is.
Yeah, right? And I mean, Halentus is still the Hell Arena, so, keep pairing assassins to roll with Halentus. It pairs with other events they have going on. Like, I don't know. maybe it's because they completely power crept Bailey out. I mean, when we started this game, he was the be all end all, and now he is the squishiest dude. He's squishier than Jaina, I swear. He will go down instantly, which is, I don't know.
Yeah,
I get that it happens, but
you kind of still need Bailey though, just to power up your assassins. But oddly enough, like on my main account, the team for me, and I got all the toys, just caveat that. So Caraxia, Fiona, Rickard, Dominic, and not Bailey, not Helentis. The actual best score possible is with Rakana. with the ult turned off, which is weird because Rakana attacks so much.
Yeah, and Rickard's giving her the soul swords and everything.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I kind of love that, like Taylor and Rickard and Vegnus to some level, like Senway. I kind of like that there's still some elites really giving it their best. I enjoy just not having all triple S's. Like Taylor in this endless battle for the hunters does absolute work.
He does. Yeah, Taylor.
In the Forbidden Mist. And I don't know why. I kind of love that because, you know, I think we said it in our last one too. I get that Nord is a paywall, but to me, this is still the most free-to-play friendly game I've ever played.
I agree. I still agree. People are going to debate that, but I still agree. Have they gone a little bit more pay to win? Yes, but it's still like it's still very, very, very free to play. And it's funny that you say Senway. So you're using Senway in your Death Hive battle?
I don't think I used Senway this time, but he's always like in the conversation, right? He's always like kind of on the peripheral, like maybe not be the most damage, but he's close. So
he is one of, like, if you want to get the highest score, you either use Senway or Kalaza in this battle. I got the best lineups. Like I'm showing a lineup right now that got 660, basically 670, or I'm not counting the numbers. Let's see, what's that? 67 million points, and it's Dorley, Kalaza, Ampu, Dan, and Sif, and then the team right below him is the same team but with Senway instead of Kalaza. So it's funny, we got Rakana in for the assassins, we got Taylor in for the hunters, and we got Senway or Kalaza as the required unit in the summoner lineups. It's kind of funny.
I love it. I think it's cool that the elites, because, you know, that's part of the whole thing. Like, well, what elites do you even use anymore? The fact that at this point we're coming up on a year in this game, and they've done nothing but release triple S's, basically. Who was the last elite we got? Vegnus?
It was Vegnus.
So like almost don't release elites anymore, and they're coming out with a new faction. I haven't heard anything about a single elite from that faction. So the fact that after all this time there's still a couple of elites that still do something in the game, I mean, I don't know. I think that's pretty sweet.
No, that's good. But yeah, elites are basically just your starter units, right? Because they're easy to get. You get them when you pull on your advanced tickets, and you can get whatever ones you want. You put them in your wish list. They're your gateway into your triple S, which are eventually going to be the gateway into the SPs, if they ever release another one, which I thought they would have announced another SP by now, but they haven't, which is probably good for us.
I was going to say that we also just discussed that if it's going to take a free-to-play up to a year, you can't be releasing a new one.
Yeah. And you can't see the graphic that's on screen right now, but yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the $6,000 spent in a month frame that Zoso is rocking up top here. So kudos to him. He keeps the lights on.
Yeah, no kidding. Thanks for funding the game for me to play.
So that's Endless Battles. I don't know. I do, like, on my server, I get, like, I got the rankings pulled up right now, and I'm first every day, and I'm basically 24 million ahead of the next guy. So thank you for the red runes, all the stuff. You saw that they changed the rewards again. We got that little 20 box at the end for the final payout, so you can pick what you want.
On where?
So if you go to the total ranking on Endless Battles, and it's your final reward. So it used to be, where to go? It used to be.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be 100 tickets, those yellow tickets. It used to be the 60, and then it used to be 60 of the Gene Hybrid. But now they threw in that box with all the tempering materials and red runes. So if people are like struggling, and say you're a lower account and you can only get down level 7 of these new dungeons and you need these ones, well then maybe this is what you want. Maybe you want to pick the box and you want to get these level 2 tempering materials. So they are adding, just like Twilight Lands. Did you see that they drastically extended the rewards so that people way down to the bottom 50 still got triple S hyper evolution crystals shards?
Just continuing my point that this game is very free to play friendly.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's it about it for Endless. Just I do like the new setup of Endless with this new point scoring structure.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I really, like you said, Endless Battle. Initially, I was just bummed because I liked Rise of Heroes so much, but I enjoy Endless Battle because I get to tinker and it's fun. And like you said, everybody kind of gets to compete within the guild. It just brings something a little bit extra to it. I like it.
Yeah, I like this new setup with the new little stages and the rewards versus the go kill this 15 times. That was mind-numbingly boring. And I basically would put in one unit and just keep hitting go until I got my 15 and then moved on.
And I freely admit, my whole Rise of Heroes love affair was mainly because of how generous the rewards were, and they kept those just as generous with the Endless Battle. So I don't look back and be like, oh, I miss Rise of Heroes. No,
I agree. All right, next topic. Moving on. Hell Arena Season 2, and people that are watching this, don't blast me because I'm in Junior Fighter on this account. This is my streaming account. I don't play this every day. So don't roast me in the comments because I just got demoted because I didn't play the last week or whatever. Or wait, no, this is the new season. So yeah, we were going to get demoted anyway. Anyway, so like you said, I think you mentioned it once already, Helentis is still the unit. Still the bonus unit. Still the Hell Arena unit. Now the the PIV did leak it out like a month ago, and I don't have the screenshots. I can't find them now, but he did say, or she did say, that we were going to get a new Hell Arena hero each season, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It is still Helentis. But we did get a new buff. So the new buff, or the area environment, is during the current season, gain 50% crit damage in Hell Arena battles, and then for 20 seconds, or for the first 20 seconds after the fight starts, heroes have 60% reduced damage. So who do you think this buffs the most?
Who do I think this buffs? I mean, for 20 seconds after the start of the battle, heroes receive 60% reduced damage. So that's going to be heroes that take a while to fire up, which makes me immediately think of Nord, right? Because he's borderline a liability until he gets off his first ultimate. Trying to think, like, summoners don't need nearly that long.
Tanks,
assassins already,
I guess.
Huh?
Tanks could use it because that basically makes them undamageable for the first 20 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sing tanks to me just because, they're tanks. They're supposed to be able to take damage for a little bit. I don't know if you have a lower Womagon and it takes a minute for him to turn into a dragon, maybe. I'm not sure entirely what that part is for, other than to make the battles last longer. Maybe it buys energy heroes a little bit longer just because they're squishy, but they can still pound out the damage. So maybe it brings energy up a tad.
I think so, because they also get the 50% increased crit damage as well along with that, right? And the energy team relies on crits, other than Luke, if you have him built that way.
To me, maybe energy, but it doesn't necessarily like scream anything specific to me.
It's a lot more fair because the last season where all the heroes had reduced energy gain or for their ultimates, that really crippled energy. Like, energy could not get off, because that's the thing with energy, is they have to go. If they don't get their ultimates off, they're dead, and they were basically a wasted faction last season. This, at least, they can compete
so maybe,
a little bit.
I kind of went back and forth between like hunters and energy. Maybe this is the season I go energy instead of hunters, because they are going to gain that damage burst and live long enough to deliver said energy and damage burst.
Yeah, I think you're probably onto something there. Now, Are you aware of all the bugs that's happened today with Hell Arena?
I haven't had a chance to look. I've just seen that there's been something about people losing to teams that they have no business losing to, essentially like bots.
Yeah, so the issue is that people would go into a fight and they would rearrange their teams to do their fights, to battle, so they would ensure their wins. But then as soon as they hit go, it automatically defaulted to the team's previous positions, so that some people would just lose all 3 fights because they got mismatched.
Nice. That's a pretty bad bug.
So we haven't seen anything that it's fixed yet. The workaround that I've heard out of my alliance is that you have to very closely make sure that no hero overlaps and no prototype overlaps. Then you can move stuff freely. But if some reason you have a prototype in each team, then it won't. You'll get an error and it won't. It'll just go with the previous setup. So.
Okay, that's interesting. Basically, it can't compute, so it doesn't try and just reverts to whatever the default was. Okay, that's a bummer, and I can see that being wildly annoying. But the one thing I will say about this game also, and this is why the last viewers, everybody was like, he sounds like he's paid by the company. But I mean, nobody communicates and apologizes like Eternal Evolution. I played multiple other games. Nobody communicates and apologizes with diamonds and rewards and stuff the way Eternal Evolution does. So while this is a bummer, I think they'll make it right, and they'll probably apologize in a monetary fashion, and we'll forget about it.
Yeah, we'll get some stuff. But for those really high-end guys that like to go after the big fish first, I know a few guys that have, like I said, went 0-3 because of this bug. And it's not going to get them demoted since we're not in Hellfighter right now. We're kind of all bumped back down a little bit, but it's still annoying. And I think they probably will make some compensation, but I don't think this is an easy fix because they haven't fixed it yet. But we'll see. So just people be aware that that's the issue. Make sure all your teams are absolutely 100% unique, and you will not have an issue. I recommend creating formations. That's what I do. I have all my teams in unique formations already, so that I don't have to worry about it. I just pick a team and go. Now, what are your thoughts on basically the shop controversy? Are you aware of what's going on there? Have you heard some chatter on there about people being pissed off about the way the shop and the rewards went out in between seasons?
I mean, obviously I'm aware, but maybe for your viewers, maybe you should spell it out.
So for those that were competing, for those people that were competing in the Hellfighter, the highest rank, they received these blood-soaked name tags. Now, a lot of people were saving up these blood-soaked name tags to purchase the large trophy. And last season, the large trophy, which was 20% HP in PvP, which is a big bonus. That's a big bump.
Massive.
And they knew that after they got paid out for their last week, they would have enough blood-soaked name tags. And the timers even made it so that the season ended, and then there was 4 hours left in the shop before the shop switched over to the second season. So it looked like we had 4 hours, and I even set my alarm to do this too, to wake up in the middle of the night to go in there and purchase my large trophy. No, it wouldn't let you. It locked everything out. It left it in the settlement stage. So you could not use your rewards from the last week of the last season to purchase items in that shop. That is kind of, it's not a big thing in the grand scheme of things, but it's kind of annoying, and that's not the way it should work. Do you agree?
Well, and I'm looking at the large one here for the blood soak. Soul, Rubelite, and Hero experience drops in the Crimson Abyss are increased by 8%. If you're getting blood soaked name tags, you do not care about Crimson Abyss XP and Soul Rubelite. That is a massive difference between 20% HP and I mean that is. So I would be salty. I would be salty.
Yeah, I am a little bit. And one thing that I had somebody point out to me too is it's really not as, people think 20% HP. And the way the math works in this game is that 20% bonus wasn't just tacked on after everything like your HP from gear. That's tacked on to the white number from your base stats. So say even on a tank, that's maybe only 200,000 HP. Still, that's like an ultimate or an attack or like a main ultimate that you can shrug off or take to the face. But it's not, huge numbers, but it doesn't negate the fact that the way that the rewards ended this last week and the fact that we couldn't actually spend those rewards in that season is kind of stupid. I don't think that the developers did anything malicious. I just think that it was an oversight on their thing or on their part. And now that we're into the full swing of things, it's not going to be that big of a deal because if people that were in the Hellfighter bracket are going to be in there for like 5 weeks this season, right?
Yeah, I mean, those people will get right back up again for the most part, no problem, unless you skated in at the last second. But yeah, I mean, I could see how that would be pretty frustrating. But in the end, if you were in that hell, the top level, you're probably going to get right back up there.
And how did you place in Season 1? Where did you end up?
What's the next one down? Legendary?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I finished in Legendary.
Yep, Legendary Fighter.
Yep. That's the one I finished in, which I was happy with considering like my fourth team, because once you get up to that level, you need a fourth team.
Yeah.
And my fourth team is kind of where that struggle is because my account, like, how do I say this? My account, because I try to create content, is more spread out than somebody that should be just focused on PvP, right? So if you're focusing on PvP, you go your 3 hard teams initially, because that is what most of Hell Arena is, and also your Galactic Arena. So then as you get into it, you should build a 4th team for the higher level of Hell Arena, whereas I'm kind of spread out through, I don't know how many factions are there, 6, just because I'm trying to do testing and some stuff. Like my Nord is actually still Extraordinary 0. Just because I can't find time to put gene hybrids into them because I'm constantly testing out the new heroes. Whereas if I wanted to be really competitive in PvP, Nord would be up there right away and some of the big hitters would be up there right away. And to make content that's going to help other people know what a hero can do, I don't have the resources to put it into to make those teams truly incredibly powerful. So I would be upset if I were lower than Legendary, but I've kind of accepted my role is not to be a Hellfighter in this game. My role as a content creator is to be good and get up there, but basically check out new heroes and let people know if they're good or bad or meh or whatever. So
I got you.
I've made peace with it.
So are you surprised that we haven't gotten the red collection building keys yet to make our other loadouts?
Yeah, kinda. Just because this game tends to pace well. We already kind of talked about that. Like yeah. I don't even know how to say it. I guess I'm a little surprised and confused on what are you waiting for?
Yeah, because you probably have trophies now that you can't put into your collection, right? Because even if they're blue or purple, they're just sitting on the bench now. You're never going to use them.
Yeah, and I don't know what to do with them, and I don't know.
And the way it reads, like initially I thought that they were loadouts that you could switch out for different content. Like if you want to make a PvP loadout and then a PvE loadout. But that's not the way it sounds. It sounds like, and someone pointed this out to me, when we talk about this right here, right here, number 4, new warehouse pages can be unlocked with collection new warehouse keys. Each warehouse page grants 1 large slot and 4 small slots. It sounds like it's cumulative. It sounds more like your 3 loadouts all load into your roster at one time, which I guess makes sense because I didn't know how if you switched out into the PvE loadout, then that just leaves you susceptible to be knocked around in Hell Arena and PvP. So it sounds like that you want the red ones to make out new loadouts, and that's just more progression on your account. It's not individual loadouts. It's all 3 are active at one time.
Yeah, especially because there's like a 24-hour window where if you take one out, you can't put another one in right away.
Yeah.
Which
it's dumb.
I don't. Yeah. Why? Why?
Yeah.
I don't. Like I look for a reason for that, and it makes no sense to me whatsoever. What's the point of a 24-hour I mean, what's the if you change them out? What's the detriment?
I don't know. I totally agree. I think it's dumb. So we didn't discuss the anti-cheating mechanic that they put into Hell Arena this week. How you could only change your defense once in 24 hours.
Why is that?
Because what people were doing, if people were guildies and they were in like the hell bracket, say if your buddy was on the cusp of being demoted, you could drop all your defense just to one unit.
A boost.
And then switch your defense right back to your main defense. Now, if you switch your defense to a weak paper defense, it's stuck like that for 24 hours. And you are going to suffer the ramifications of
I'm good with that.
cheating. I know, that's great, because a game has to do that. If there's a way that people can exploit something in the game, that has to be rectified very quickly. And they did jump on that very quickly. Although I think that the switching up your defenses is what caused this bug that we have today, where it's messing up the team positions. But
yeah, that's probably right. But I like you said, I think you need to do something, because that's kind of shady. Like, I get that they're your buddies and you want your guild to do well, but that's shady. So I don't have any problem with them fixing that. I wish it didn't cause a bug for some other people to have to deal with. But I don't know. Maybe for the immediate future, aim for those bots or whatever's low in your group. Just go for the low targets. That way, if it does have a bit of a glitch, then you're probably still going to come out just fine. And give them a couple of days to fix it. See what they can do.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Twilight Lands. Basically the teaser that they gave us in game. That you can go to there. I got it pulled up on my screen right now. The game usually always gives us a teaser of what the next recommended teams are going to be for stage 16, and that kind of tells us the new heroes that are coming to Eternal Evolution. As we can see right now, the 16-7 boss is a hunter bond, which makes sense because they just gave us Arcadia, so they want us to need her to pass that boss. But the main boss is a tank bond, which screams that there's going to be a new tank in the game. But then when you look at when the next Twilight Land starts, it's October 12th.
Yeah, and that makes me sad when I saw that, because Twilight Lands to me is the most important game mode, because it's the only game mode you can currently reliably get the gene mutation crystal 2s to hyper evolve your triple S's. It's giving you the gene hybrids, it's giving you limiteds, and it's also giving you mythic divine prototypes, which are massive. So the fact that this has been put off for a full month, right? Because we didn't
full month.
Yeah, so this has been put off for a full month. So this hurts. My hope is that with the release of the collaboration, they also are releasing some kind of event. And I don't know if it's going to be like a Christmas, Easter, something like that. But please don't take those rewards from us. We love and need those rewards. So I don't know what's going to happen. But the fact that we have another 3 weeks to get to this is painful.
Yeah, I like you. I really, really like Twilight Lands. I set an alarm. I wake up as soon as stage 16 opens, and I just blast it out. I usually don't even. I think I've only made one video on it because I'm so into the fights, and I'm just focused and trying to get stuff done. And I'm a little disappointed too, but I have faith that we're going to get plenty of rewards, because they're making a big deal out of this collab event, which we're going to discuss. But I just thought I'd point it out to anyone that hasn't seen it, that yes, you're not going to be able to participate in Twilight Lands for almost a month. And they're saying tank bond, but we don't really have time for a tank before this comes around. So I'm thinking that it's kind of going to be a freebie. It's just going to be the tanks that are currently in game. I don't think it's going to require a new tank, because by the time this comes around, the next normal Eternal Evolution hero to be released is an energy hero. It's unless I'm wrong, but usually I get the rotations kind of right for new hero releases. It's an energy is next, and you don't see energy up here, so just thought I'd let people aware of that.
And if anybody was like, well, I don't know what to do, tanks are so incredibly strong in pretty much every game mode. I would argue that they're probably number 2 overall as far as general use everywhere. They're used in PvP, they're used in PvE. Oh, yeah. They're very helpful. So if you're like, I don't know, don't hesitate. Tanks are amazing.
Do you remember when tanks were garbage?
Total garbage. You never used them.
No,
You never used
it
them.
was a completely useless faction. Not
When
faction.
when they brought out the knockdown mechanic with the commander,
Yep.
and giving that completely changed the tank faction from being 100. I remember when they came out with guild technology. I think I said in one of my videos, like, completely ignore the tank category because you're not gonna need to put anything in the tanks. And now I'm like scrambling to fill up every tank category I can. So that one didn't age well, but they completely did a 180 on me on tanks, so I don't feel too guilty about it.
Yeah, and Zeta used to be garbage. Nobody went for Zeta. Nobody even had like maybe a single copy. And now then they did
She
the
was Guan
rework
Yu.
on her, and she was Guan Yu. But
She was Guan Yu.
Yep, she was. But now she's probably gonna get knocked off the team next. But she's still really freaking tanky. Like her rework
She
really
feels
helps.
huge. Like she might be the most durable. She doesn't do near the damage some of the other ones won, but man, she can heal herself like crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And her, she was a launch hero. I'm pulling her up right now. Like her character model is still cool. Like I like her look.
Yeah, Whale King, right?
Yeah, like
Whale King, Whale Queen. Is it a girl or a guy? Are we allowed to ask?
Zeta's a girl because she's got.
I swear in one of the
boobs.
detailed descriptions it refers to him as a him.
Yeah, but they do that a lot. They screw up the genders all the time in this game in the descriptions. The
Whoa,
Whale
whoa,
King. The
you
Whale
can't say
King.
that.
Well, the Whale King is the thing that she was riding in on. That's the Whale King.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So yeah, Zeta
I'll
used to
buy
be
it.
garbage. She's still currently good. Would I tell people to go get her to Immortal tomorrow? No, because she's the next one on the chopping block for the tank team. But yeah,
She
tanks are
does
still
seem
great.
to like pop up a lot though. She's in like a lot of side rewards, kind of like Crete is now, but Crete's been completely power crept in my opinion, and Zaida has not. So
True.
if you're ever like, I don't know what to do, Zaida will be helpful.
And Zeta does. She's one hero that she's not in every Endless Battles exchange shop. She skips a month. So right now we have Sorvali, but then next month you can get a copy of Zeta from here, and you can get her from the Hero Rally Triple S selection card if you save up 500 advance tickets, and you can always get her from the 1 week, like the off banner chip shop. Not that I would ever recommend anyone spend 120 chips getting a copy of Zeta from that shop.
No.
No.
Like you said, she's solid. Like don't go out of your way, but if you run into her, be like, oh, cool.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so we're gonna talk about some other stuff that's coming up in the future. Everyone that's watching this video tomorrow is already gonna know what the patch is, because the patch notes comes out tonight at about like 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I don't know. They're always somewhere around there. But here is a message from Mr. PIV, the Loose Lips, the Sinker of Ships, my arch nemesis, who has actually been quite tight-lipped lately since I used to leak everything he said. You notice that? How I haven't had any like breaking scoops for a while? So it's just they tend not to tell you anything till like a couple days before it's coming into game. But I got the screenshot pulled up from he was discussing with a member of my alliance. How do I say that? Anquan 81.
Antoine.
Yeah. So he was talking about when the next wishlist banner was, and the PIV confirmed that it is this Thursday. So you're going to see it in the patch notes tonight that, yes, it is a wishlist banner, which confirms my theory that they are going to give us a wishlist banner now every 4 weeks as a catch-up mechanism. Which they have to. They have to. There's so many Triple S in game. That's the only way they're going to get through the rotation of all the banners. And wishlists are awesome. You get a high increased chance to get a Triple S every 30 pulls, and then you're guaranteed to get one on the 60th. So,
yeah, and it's crazy because like, I mean, every other pull event it's just 60, and then it's like other random rewards. The fact that you can continue to pull and continue to get something every 30 to 60 is massive.
So I did call this. I did have this in my prediction spreadsheet that it was going to be a wishlist banner this week. I did call Fiona and Rickert, but I didn't think they would give us Jaina this early, since Jaina was on the wishlist banner two cycles ago. She was there with Barag, I remember. I thought it was going to be Bailey in here. I actually thought, since Bailey hasn't been given to us in about 16, 19 weeks, no, they're just going to say, screw you, you can get Bailey from the Heroes Rally. But Fiona, Rickert, and Jaina are all excellent excellent heroes to pick from in this wishlist banner. What are your thoughts on the getting a wishlist banner every 4 weeks, and then the heroes that we're getting this week?
Wishlist banner every 4 weeks, exciting. Absolutely massive, especially because you can kind of pick and choose on those heroes. And like you said, it's a catch-up mechanic. Really, really, really cool. And the fact that they are giving you Fiona, Rickert, and Jaina. Jaina is an energy game changer. Rickert is an assassin game changer. And Fiona
broke the assassins.
And I've seen her used with like vanguards and stuff too, because they're leaping and jumping all over the place and getting on the other side. Like I've seen Fiona kind of a lot of places. So this is a tough choice. If you didn't have any of them, like I already have Rickert at Extraordinary +3 and have Jaina at Immortal. Like for me, Fiona is a weak spot, and I am going to seriously capitalize on catching up on Fiona, because she is kind of like I already said earlier in this video, I'm frustrated with my assassins because the amount of resources I put into them, I would expect them to do better. And Fiona can absolutely be that missing link to boost your assassins to the next level.
Yeah,
so for me, who already, like, what is my Fiona right now? Not good is the spoiler alert on that one. Where you at, girl? She's so low. I don't even know. It's embarrassing. Let's leave it at that. It's embarrassing, and I'm going to rectify that very, very immediately in that wishlist event. So what I would say to everyone is, oh God, she's red. It's bad. Mythic +2. It's so bad. Really, really treasure this event. You cannot go wrong with any of these heroes. I mean, this isn't like a Guan Yu and a Zaida and a Nautilus. These are game-changing heavy hitters.
Yeah, these are all top shelf. Like, so I have Fiona right now at Immortal 2, so I think she's fine there. She's a support. She does everything she has to do at X30 Immortal 2. My Rickert is already Immortal 5, so I'm good there. But my Jaina is the one who I'm pulling on since she's only Immortal 2. And she really does benefit in PvP from those extra Immortal levels, because you can pop them into the X talents to get those extra PvP damage and damage reduction. So Jane is my girl on my main account, but I'm definitely like you. I'm going for Fiona on my free-to-play account because I have her at like yellow. I don't even have her at red. I have her at yellow because I don't get any perks in that account. I don't spend anything on that account. So Fiona is my girl on that one too, or on that one.
So here's my question, because I don't know nearly as much about Fiona, and maybe this will help out some other people that are going to pull for Fiona. Is Fiona EX20 to EX30, is it a massive jump?
So you'll do just fine at X20, but basically her ultimate is, or her invincibility. So you got to do so many displacements to proc her invincibility mechanic. Her X30
looks like 15 at EX30.
Her X30 just gives you one more, and it's basically timed so that your first ultimate or your first invincibility happens when your enemy team in PvP is doing their first ultimate. So you can kind of negate a whole round of ultimates. Her X30 negates the second round of ultimates, is basically how that works. So they kind of timed it nice in PvP. And then if you want to use Assassins in Thundercliff to get it down really easy, they made it so that they timed the second invincibility phase right during the first pushback phase. So you can basically just avoid all damage and then just nuke him down and not worry about it. So is it needed? No. Is it nice for specific game modes? Yes. But is it needed? No, it's not a game changer.
That's fair. Because I'm saving up. I have enough to EX30 another one, but we'll get to the collab event here. But I think that's what they're going to be saved for.
Okay, so now I'm going to be pulling up a graphic of all of the collaboration units that are coming. Coming in September 28th is when the month of the Ghost in the Shell starts. So, as a brief beginner on this, did you try to watch Ghost in the Shell 2045 in anticipation of these characters coming into the game?
I did not try to watch. I Wikipedia'd. That's as far as I got.
Okay, thank God, save your brain cells, because it is mind-numbingly horrible. Horrible. It is it is Like, and they gave us the worst ones. Like any of the other series, the characters looked so much cooler. This series was made for 8-year-olds. So,
Really,
yeah, disappointing.
really hyping it there.
Yeah, but because I loved the Ghost in the Shell movie, it was great. It was very, very adult. It had some very adult motifs, made you think. And then they did another animated series that was okay. It was cool. It kind of, whatever. I don't want to harp on too long. But these, for now, these are the 4 characters that are going to be coming starting September 28th. So we got the Major, Motoko, who's an assassin. We got Bato, who is a vanguard. And then we got Pirin, who is a support. And then we got Tachikoma, who is your tank, right? So... And they're all the time traveler faction, and I have heard, I didn't screenshot it, that people have said that you're going to want to use all these characters together. Now, that person also said that we're not getting a 5th. Somehow, I think that they're bullshitting us, because Saito is on this team in every iteration of this series, and he's a hunter, he's a sniper. How are they not going to give us a sniper to round out a 5-man unit of time travelers?
And so I guess here's my question too. If they're supposed to be used together, are we going to get a commander?
I don't know.
Otherwise what? They just don't get a commander bonus?
And that's just speculation, but that is something that I saw. It was one of the mods on the official Discord that said you're going to want to use them together.
Hey, I've been begging for a generalist commander for a while, because I think, and this may be one of my crazy conspiracy theories, but like, if you really wanted to open up PvP especially and get some weird combos going and really have people play with some different formations, if you had a generalist commander, that would really, really open up some gameplay. Because right now your tanks got to go with your tanks, and in general, like, obviously there are a couple plug and play heroes, like Nord can kind of do his own thing. Sif seems like she can kind of do her own thing, but in general, you got to stay kind of in your lane for the most part. And if they opened up a generalist commander, you could come up with some wild combinations.
I agree, and I think that they should give us a new commander with these guys, because if we want to use them together, I bet you their kits are going to read like something like, when they're paired with other time travelers, they do this. But is this kind of the first team, if they are going to be a team, that has like one of each, right? Like an assassin, a vanguard, a tank, a support, a hunter, if they give us Saito. Which is kind of cool, because that's how most games are set up. You want to run a healer, a tank, DPS, etc., etc. So
yeah, this is the only game I've ever played. It's like the tanks go together. Be like, well, what?
Yeah. It is kind of weird. It works, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's still fun, but like, yeah, like you said, like that you have a tank and a healer and a damage. Like, that's. Have you never played a game? That's how games work, guys.
So they did say that we are only getting 4. I don't believe them. Because if we are going to use them as a team, then we're plug and playing somebody from outside of their faction to do something. I think that they're pulling the wool over eyes. We're going to get Saito. He's going to be the hunter, and he's going to be a DPSer. Because a tank, a vanguard, and a support, you're relying on the major to do all your damage.
Yeah, and especially because if you were going to do 4 and not bring a 5th, a support would not be one of the ones you would bring. You would bring in a support from outside. It would be Miranda or Mazrani or Serena or something, right? Like, support seems like the most plug and play category in general. Yeah. So why would you bring in a support hero if your whole goal was to only bring in 4? That wouldn't make a ton of sense to me.
Yeah. So what do you think about these character models and the characters themselves?
I'm kind of scrolling through and looking at them. I think I approach it the same way I approach everything with these games, and that's, cautious optimism, I guess is a good way to say it. Like, I don't love the models, but they're not awful. I mean, Batu's pretty kind of cool. I mean, Urin's boring. Tachikoma, I don't know. I mean, they're not knocking my socks off, but they're not horrendous. And it's with a collaboration, so they got to make them somewhat look like they're supposed to. So like you said, kind of boring, but not terrible. Yeah. They look professionally done. And I don't know. I don't know enough. I mean, so far we know, okay, the support, healing aura, massive damage boost. Wow, that's really piling on the information. I really try to not make initial judgments based on this, I mean, for Motoko, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 words for her. Like, I'm not gonna try to make an assessment on that. I'm not a genius.
So what about how the hell are we gonna evolve 4 units that drop within a month? There's another question for you. That's just bang, 4 units.
And I think I saw a comment somewhere, and I don't know where it was. Whereas if they release at the same time, it'll kind of be interesting because everybody's going to have to kind of pick and choose, right? Like, you're not just going to have free reign. Like, right now, every single draw can get them, Mythic 1 or something, probably even free to play, and stay reasonably with it. This, if they're dropping 2 at a time, 3 at a time, or something like that, like, you're going to have to pick and choose. It'll be kind of interesting to see what people go with. It's going to be an absolute nightmare for content creators.
It's going to be a fun month.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be running all over the place, and I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe content creators have a good relationship, like you and I, obviously. Maybe, like, one of us would draw one hero, one of us would draw another one, and we could do testing just to get the information to the community, because what we do is to help keep the community strong and keep people interested in these games that we love playing. That's our whole job. So it's not like we're against that and we're against each other. We work together, which is why we're making a collaboration right now. But yeah, it'll be, I think tomorrow, I'm praying tomorrow we get some good information as far as timelines and schedules, so that we can start to formulate ideas for not just guesses, but a plan, right? Like, give me the information to make a plan. That way, we're not just, I drew here because I didn't know what was coming next, and oh man, I drew for the support and I wanted the assassin.
We're going to talk about the structure, because I sent you a screenshot of how the structure of this month is going to go. So I got it pulled up on the screen right now. So the guy that's running the official Eternal Evolution Facebook page responded that the collab recruitment event will have 2 sections in 4 weeks. In the first section, so this will be the 28th, you will be able to recruit Motoko and Batu. And then in the second section, which is probably going to be the following 2 weeks later, so the last 2 weeks of the month, you're going to be able to go for Purin and Tashikoma. So that is the structure of how we're going to be getting these characters. It's going to be broken up into 2 heroes for 2 weeks, and then the last 2 heroes for another 2 weeks. Again, I think they're going to throw the hunter in there somewhere. We'll see. That I could be totally wrong, but that is the structure. We don't know exactly how the event itself is going to go, which is kind of exciting because it's brand new. Like this, if people wanted brand new content, here it is. But this is some information that we know right now that is going to be relevant for the collaboration event.
Yeah, and I think for me especially, that first one between the assassin and the vanguards, my choices are basically, do I strengthen my assassin team that I've already put work into, and if there's a wish list for Fiona, I'm going to put more work into, or do I see if Batu can bring my lacking vanguards up to a powerful enough team? And I think that'll be a decision for a lot of people. Be like, all right, I'm gonna have to make a call here and just hope it works out for the best, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't need a tank, I don't need an assassin because I got a maxed Caraxia. So do I go for Batu and then Purin? But then do I need another support? No, I don't know. Maybe Tashikoma replaces Zeta, and Zeta's gone. So
and you say, like, I don't need a support. If she's ridiculous, maybe you do.
True.
And we just don't know at this point. And it's, once we see their kits, we'll have a better idea, obviously. But like you said, it's going to be wild, and that's kind of the fun of this game, right? Like, we don't need to know everything ahead of time. We don't want to know that, Arcadia is okay, Sif's a monster. Like, that's part of the fun, figuring it out.
So that was the structure, or a little bit. That's a loose structure that gives us a brief, like a skeleton to work off of. We don't know what the event exactly is going to be like, but we do know that how they're going to release the 4 characters. This next screenshot is an interesting one. I don't know if it's making the rounds. It seems like everyone on my Discord always asks for it, because everyone's like, well, how do we get these heroes? How are we going to get these heroes? Well, so this screenshot is a little bit of an interesting story. So on one of their it was initially a German ad for the collab event. that someone ran through and I do have the German copy of this if people think that this is photoshopped or whatever. I do have the German copy, and they ran it through a translator, and it reads kind of like a hero rally. So it says, obtain a total of 350 heroes through advanced recruitment, limited recruitment, and including collaboration recruitment. So I don't know what the rewards are going to be, but we could speculate that this is how we get copies of the heroes, and we're probably going to get these collaboration recruitment limited cards through the events themselves. I don't know. That's just a guess, but it gives us something to work off of. What do you think of that screenshot?
Yeah, and I gotta admit, when you showed this to me before, it did not compute the with collab, including collab recruitment. Because yeah, I just read the first part and was like, yeah, hero rally, whatever, including collab recruitment.
Yeah.
So it's a new currency that's not currently in the game, so it's gonna have to be brought in. It might end up, I don't know, maybe something like Rise of Heroes was.
No.
I mean, there's going to have to be some kind of event, like you said, to get that, but maybe, is it going to be more like a Christmas or Easter event? Is it going to bring back Rise of Heroes in some aspect?
Don't know. But we do have a hero rally next week, starting on Thursday. So given this, I would highly recommend that anyone watches this video, and maybe you want to recommend it to your viewers as well. Do not pull on a hero rally next week if you have 1,500 advanced and you finally going to go for that mythic prototype. Don't wait 2 weeks just in case.
Absolutely gonna pull for this hero rally. So this is, yeah, I'm definitely saving my advance now because I got 400 or something, and whatever. I was gonna blow them because they're not that important anymore, except for hero rally. But yeah, exactly. That's pretty massive.
Yeah, so everybody hoard your tickets, hoard everything. Now we do have a giant tower and a wishlist banner coming up in 2 days, which everyone's going to want to pull their limiteds to get to the wishlist heroes. And I would say if you are going to pull 120, because then, or 120? No, 110, because then you get the 80 for the giant tower, and then you pull another 30 to get the other possible copy of a triple S. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to spend 110 and then stop and hoard the rest for this collab event. If this, because like I said, this was on an ad that got taken down. So someone screenshot it. I don't know why they just pulled this. They ran this little bit through a translator, and then they gave it. This comes from Kiger, so I'll put his link in the description as well. He's another content creator that's in the program.
Yeah, so, Kiger's legit.
Yeah, so this screenshot came from him to me, through you, to everybody. So
I give freely to you.
So now we know the heroes. We know a loose structure of how the heroes are going to be released. And we know that there's going to be a collab recruitment currency that we're going to spend to get rewards. We don't know what the rewards are, but it could possibly be how we get copies of the heroes. We don't know. We don't know.
Such a tease video, Dialar. You're like, hey, it's going to be like this, kind of. Hey, it's going to be this, kind of. It's these heroes, kind of. But we don't really know.
We don't really. Well, I got a caveat to that, because if I say anything definitive, I'm going to get people saying, hey, I did this because you said, and it wasn't true, and so I got to cover my bases. Right? I tried to cover my bases.
I'll give them the stakes to pin you to the wall. That's fine.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that about covers up pretty much all of the topics that I wanted to cover on this segment of This Week in Eternal Evolution. So, again, thank you for coming and joining me on this one, and his link is going to be in the description. Please go give him a subscribe. I do have one more thing that we have to discuss, though.
Let's do it.
I watched your video this morning, and I had some people come into my Discord and say, hey, this guy with the beautiful hair is saying that Sif is the next Nord. Is that true? So I was like, well, I don't really know. Let me test it. So here's the screenshot. I sent this screenshot to you as well. I tested it. So I took Nord and Sif. They're both immortal or hyper-evolved 120x30. Nord has one more evolution, but that doesn't really make a big difference. I put them behind two Vanguards, basically just two people that are going to take all the hits, to see on a mono straight up who dishes more damage. And Sif came nowhere close to Nord. Not even, like, I gotta blow this up because it's really small on my screen. There you go.
Almost triple.
Almost
it's closer
triple.
to triple than double.
Because I was thinking, what Sif needs is Sif has to be put with basically Dorley, which gives a 40% damage bump to summons and summoners, and Dan, who gives a 15% attack bump to summoned units. And we know that Gobo does all of her damage. So is she good? Absolutely. But I'm just going to give you your chance to say that maybe Nord is still a little bit better than your girl Sif.
Yeah, so and after I made the video, somebody made a comment that I was comparing apples to wrenches, which number one is an outstanding way to say it. And I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have changed I'm not entirely sure just the headline was what I was trying to say. My point of the video was somewhere along the lines of, is Sif the poor man's Nord, right? Because Nord's behind a paywall at this point.
Oh,
if we got Nord, that was great. If Sif comes back around, in my opinion, Sif is the next best thing.
Well, she's definitely great for summoners. Like, she was a godsend to summoners.
But I had in the endless battle, like the Reign of Idar, Forbidden Mist, I might use her in both. I've used her in multiple different, in the Lost Valley, in Terradome, I can use her, no problem. The Katosian Triangle, I've used her in several other teams, like what is it, Molten Abyss, level 8 hard. It recommends Assassinate for the first team. I have Summoners for the first team, they knock it out, no problem, except for Sif, which, wait, maybe it's not Molten Abyss. It's one of them.
Molten Abyss, you're right, it's Molten Abyss. You want to take Summoners in the first team, yep.
Yeah, and then in the second one, I use Sif in there. So, like, I'm using her in so many different areas. She does very good damage, and my main point was, like, the two things that Nord does exceptionally well are take damage and dish damage. And Sif, to some extent, can also do those two things, right? Like, Gobo is taking a ton of damage, and she can put out a ton of damage in game mode. So, am I saying that Sif is better than Nord? No. Am I saying that Sif, if you don't have the paywall, I think Sif is the closest thing to Nord.
She is a good plug and play. I will give you that. The difference I see is Sif needs the other units to make her elevated to godhood, whereas Nord is the god that elevates the other energy underneath him. And he's like, you're okay, I'll make you better if you come with me, but I don't need you. So
yeah, and like you said, Nord is the ultimate plug and play. He kind of elevates and does all kinds of things. So after I got that feedback, I was like, all right, maybe I didn't, because I made that video late last night and I was kind of tired, which isn't really an excuse, right? If I'm putting something out to the community, I should make sure it's legit. So maybe I didn't word it 100% correctly, but I think everybody can kind of see what I'm trying to say in my very messed up way of, like, Sif is plug and play, is very powerful. Is she gonna match Nord in every event? Absolutely not. But I forget what exactly it was. It was one of the endless battles right now, other than Death Hive, which is obviously summoner specific. Yep. I think it was the one for the hunters. She did better than Nord, which is weird because Nord has hunter bonuses, synergy built into his kit. But Sif still did better, and that was kind of the one that was like, all right, I gotta say something about her, because I've already made a couple of videos about Sif, and maybe it's just I'm overly infatuated at this point, but she is so good in so many areas that if you did not get in on the initial Nord, and you're not going to put the cash into this game, I think your next best option is Sif.
She's good, and I was surprised because I just took her into, it was like story 60-35, something up there, right? Somewhere where I had gotten stuck, and I was like, and that team beat it, and I was just like, okay, wow, because Gobo has the AoE stun, Nord has an AoE stun. I had Barag with the Eye of Annihilation, the other one that stuns. They all just stunned and just killed everything. It was kind of like, oh, okay, cool. And I passed the story mode. Cool, all right. But I was just like, I got to test it. I got to see if she can rival him in damage, because like when you put her with summoners, her damage numbers are incredible, but then she gains all the synergies from summoners as well too. So I was like, I watched that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see. You know, it was a good video. I'm like, I'm gonna go test it out myself now. And then since I knew you were coming on the show tonight, I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, and I gotta kind of show that to him too and see what he has to say.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what I say always on my channel, and I know you do the same thing too. Like, we don't know it all. We're doing our best. We put a lot of work into these games. We play these games, so we have a strong base of information, but we're going to make mistakes, and I'm always open to dialogue. I think I try to say in every video, like, if you got comments, if you got another team that works better, please throw in the comment section down below, because it's only going to help the community, and that's all what these videos are about.
Exactly.
So maybe I need to apologize for the title, and I'm not trying to mislead people. I'm just trying to say, hey, Sif can be absolutely extraordinary, because I know there is a lot of frustration over the fact that Nord is behind a paywall right now. So just trying to give some optimism to people that, hey, if you don't have Nord, if you pulled for Sif, you can still do some wild and crazy things. Because I did the same thing in Story Instance. I'm not as far as you, but Sif gave me a chapter or two.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she really did.
A lot. And the Nord thing's kind of silly at this point. He's not as OP as he once was. Like, I don't even use him in my Hell Arena right now. He's not even in my Galactic Arena, because the energy team kind of sucks. And the other teams are all filled out where they kind of require all their own pieces. So come on, let's give the community Nord now. You've milked him enough, I would say. If the devs are watching this, they won't watch it. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. They're not watching all of this, especially
come on, devs.
Especially since they got to watch it with the subtitles turned on.
Whatever, they're riveted. This is amazing, and you know it.
Yeah. So that was it. That's it. So again, another over an hour, and it flew by. It didn't feel like that long.
I could talk about this game forever with you.
So thanks for coming again, everyone watching. If you made it to the end of this video, and it is VetAaron Gaming, right? I say that all as one word.
Well, yeah, I say it veteran because it rolls off the tongue and sounds, you know.
So is it Veteran Gaming?
I'm veteran. Just it rolls off. I don't know. I was driving along the road trying to figure out what I was going to call my YouTube channel. I was like, I'm a veteran. My name's Aaron. And then I almost crashed. And then, you know.
That's the word of the day then. That is the safe word of the day for this video. If you've made it to the end of this video, again, over almost an hour and a half, put veteran, the word veteran, as the word of the day in the comments below, so I'll know that you made it to the end of this video and that you appreciate what we're putting out. So thanks for coming again, as always. Appreciate it. We had a good banter, and till next time, everybody. Cheers, peace, and wait. I'm gonna let you use your outro.
Oh man! And as always, have fun. Good luck.
There you go.